So let's go right to the numbers. So today's numbers show an increase of about 2 cases from yesterday. There were 17 cases actively identified in Foxborough at this time. 8 cases have recovered. And since the beginning of the pandemic on March, which was March 15th, looks like we had 27 cases in total for the town of Foxborough. As I said, eight of those have recovered. So currently, there are 17 cases, current active cases in Foxborough at this time. 241 total cases, individuals tested negative for the case for the pandemic. So we are in a position right now. We are up a little bit since yesterday, not significantly, which is good news. So we're not showing. In fact, that shows a net increase of only 2 over the past 4 days. As I recall. So we're actually still in a pretty good position as compared to other areas. Taking a look at the Massachusetts numbers, overall there are 15,202 cases that have occurred that have identified in Massachusetts. And just to clarify this point, yesterday an individual had written to me and said it doesn't seem possible that Foxborough would be so low in comparison to the rest of the state. The answer is it is true only because of the fact that there may be other cases that we don't know about, but these are the ones that have been tested and have been identified in the community and have proven to be positive. So while there may be others who have the virus, these are the ones that have been tested and have identified in the community at large. So, but that's the same way it is throughout the entire state. So in comparison, we are actually measuring apples to apples in terms of the overall comparisons. As I said, there are 15,202 cases, 356 deaths resulting from those cases. In Norfolk County alone, there are 1,592 cases that have been identified at this time. 9.4% of the cases in Massachusetts are currently hospitalized. 1,400 cases which identifies to be 1,400 cases. There are 4,300 cases are not hospitalized, and remainder is under investigation. Again, the largest age group impacted is the 50 to 59 age group, which is 2,900 candidates or individuals in total at this point in time. There are 226 cases of states of emergency established around the Commonwealth. So let's go right to the report and take a look at what's happening in and around the Commonwealth. And let's see what we have for today. So it looks like that the coronavirus testing response, as I said, there were 15,202 confirmed cases. There were 1,435 hospitalizations and 356 deaths as of 4 p.m. yesterday. Over 81,000 tests have been conducted by the state public health laboratories and its private testing facilities. Between 4,000 and 5,000 tests are being conducted every day at this point. Yesterday, the governor announced an $800 million increase in mass health spending to be distributed to hospitals, nursing homes, and other health care providers that treat COVID-19 patients. This spending includes $400 million for hospitals, $800 million, or $80 million rather, for dedicated to nursing homes, $50 million for community health centers, and $30 million for personal care attendants. The State National Guard and Broad Institute at MIT continue to operate mobile nursing home testing units to quickly test individuals exposed for the State National Guard and Broad Institute continue to operate mobile nursing home testing units to quickly test individuals exposed to COVID-19. So far, the units have conducted over 1,300 tests in 80 facilities across the Commonwealth. The state has partnered with CVS to launch a new rapid testing site in Lowell, which is capable of conducting around 1,000 tests a day to replace the temporary pilot site in Shrewsbury. Patients must register online for tests at cvs.com. DPH will report race and ethnicity data for Massachusetts residents with COVID-19 as positive tests continue to grow. This data will help state officials ensure that testing and treatment are reaching all residents of the Commonwealth equally. Um, DPH has also started a nursing home family resource line for those loved ones in nursing homes to get the latest information, resources, and answers to questions related to COVID-19. The number is 617-660-5399 and is open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. That is for DPH starting a nursing home family resource line for those loved ones in nursing homes to get the latest information. Again, the number is 617-660-5399, and it is open 7 days a week, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Massachusetts received 443,000 masks from the shipment delivered by the Patriots and Robert Kraft. 127,000 of those surgical-style masks are being delivered to congregate-style facilities, including nursing homes, group homes for the disabled, social service programs, and other public programs. As of yesterday, there is no new information about when self-employed individuals can submit applications for unemployment assistance. That's a new federal program that is essential for many constituents. They are carefully monitoring the rollout of the initiative and will provide updates as soon as they are available. That was updated actually in the governor's update as of yesterday as well. Notice that they're still working on that piece. The economic impact stimulus checks to individuals are expected to begin this week for those who received a 2019 tax return via direct deposit. For more information, the IRS has distributed online guidance at irs.gov if you want to go and check that out, as well as some helpful graphics. So there were several questions coming up on when is that going to happen. The rollout is expected this week, so it's good to make sure, and we'll continue to take a look at that. The IRS, the U.S. Small Business Administration has also launched a Paycheck Protection Program to provide easily forgiving loans to small businesses to keep their employees on payroll. More information can be found online. The Metro West Chamber of Commerce is offering a free webinar on business planning and recovery for area businesses who may be struggling with impacts of COVID-19. There are several sessions, the first of which is Thursday. The National Council of Nonprofits is conducting a free webinar on Thursday, tomorrow at 3 p.m. to provide information for nonprofit organizations on the new obligations and assistance created by the Federal CARES Act. More information can be found online for that program. Legislative action: the House and Senate Committees on Ways and Means has postponed its virtual economic roundtable due to technical problems accessing the live stream. The hearing was scheduled to host key economists and experts to discuss the economic impacts and fiscal implications of COVID-19 pandemic on the Commonwealth and the upcoming budget process. The hearing is being rescheduled, and we will provide more details as they become available to us. And additional updates, yesterday the governor announced that grocery stores are being limited to 40% occupancy to limit the congregation of customers in confined spaces. The Massachusetts Board of Library Commissioners has worked to expand the availability of statewide online resources, including ebooks and education materials. For more information, you can visit www.mass.gov/libraries. And the Massachusetts Commission on the Status of Women is conducting an online survey to better assess the impact that COVID-19 is having on women and girls in Massachusetts. You can find that out online as well at the mass.gov site. So turning now to there is just a couple of things that I wanted to bring up to your attention. Let me see. There is just the reminder that we have a promotional opportunity going on in town for hashtag Eat in Foxboro. It's a practical social distancing and support for your local Foxboro restaurants. The hashtag Eat in Foxboro campaign to support the Foxboro restaurants that have been hit hard by COVID-19 pandemic is collaborative between many groups in town. Please follow the Uptime Happenings Facebook for updates and announcements of the winners. They're actually providing 2 winners per week. They'll get a $50 gift certificate to local restaurants if you in fact use those for takeout services. So we want to make sure that we continue to support our local businesses as much as we can. Also, just to make you aware, there is there is wanted to let you know that the compost facility is now open on East Belcher Road. It is they opened actually on Monday of this past week, and so we were hoping that would be the case, but there was some concern whether or not they would actually get open given the limitation of COVID-19. The general rules are that all stickers must be adhered to the vehicle. You can get a sticker at the facility itself, and this is proof of residency is required along with a driver's license, and there are no exceptions to that rule. All vehicles are subject to inspection of load debris by the site attendant. Vehicles larger than a small dump truck and large trailers are not allowed. Operator of vehicles must provide driver's license or other acceptable residency identification. Dumping is allowed only when the compost site is open. Leaves and grass must be separated from other materials and dumped in appropriate areas. Let me see. There were no items that are not accepted: plastic bags, stumps, logs, tree rounds, landscape timbers, fence, or other manufactured wood products, trash or construction debris of any kind, green materials containing paints, oils, metals, metal hardware, hazardous waste, or any non-biodegradable material are not allowed on the site. So the compost hours: the site will be open on April 6th on Monday, and the closing date is to be determined, typically through November. And the hours are 7:45 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. through Saturday, weather permitting. Not sure if they'll be open this morning given the wet weather that we have. They're supposed to clear up later on, so maybe they'll open later today. Just a reminder that we have to exercise social distancing at all times during that, so try and keep your distance from anyone that you come in contact with down at the facility. And so that wraps up that information. And just the one last thing that I want to bring to your attention: the governor did sign a bill over the weekend, which actually helps us quite a bit when it comes to local government. There is language in the bill that addresses the issue of town meetings and how we can actually delay the meeting from its original date, which we announced last week at the Selectmen's meeting that the town meeting would be moved from its current May 11th date, which will be sometime, we think, in June. We think probably like the second week in June at this point in time. Also, the election, which is scheduled for May 4th, is also expected to be moved. So I'll just make sure you're aware of that as well, and that it's really important that everybody's be aware of that. The adoption of temporary fiscal 2021 budgets. There is language that is included in the event that the COVID-19 pandemic emergency goes on longer than June 30th. There is language that allows us to continue on spending at the local level. It's a technical process which involves the Board of Selectmen, but we can do that until we know when we can actually have the meeting to actually put the budget in place. There is a use of free cash and undesignated fund balance can be used to cover any shortfalls, and there's an amortization provision that allows the towns that run into a bit of a deficit at the end of their current fiscal year, that can be amortized over a 3-year period going forward. So there is a number of tools that are available to us, and we'll continue to keep a close eye on that to see if we need to use any of those. Use of revolving funds is highlighted in that bill. Also, tolling required actions on chapter lands suspends the time period that municipalities are required to act, respond, effectuate, or exercise an option to purchase Chapter 61 forest land. There's an option to delay property tax due date to June 1st. We fully expect that issue will come up for discussion next week at the Selectmen's meeting. An option to waive interest and penalties on late payments. That will be included as part of that, but will be on a more limited basis in that regard. More details to come next week on that point. Non-termination of services to residents due to late payments. Cities and towns shall not terminate an essential service to residents, including water, trash collection, or electricity for non-payment of taxes fees due to on or after March 10th, 2020. And let me see, state income tax deadline postpones the deadline for filing Massachusetts state income tax from April 15th to July 15th. That was also follows suit with, I think, a number of the states in the country, as well as the U.S. government, which has actually delayed their payments to July 15th as well. Sale of alcohol by takeout residents allows residents, restaurants, and licensed to sell alcohol beverages on premise to sell sealed containers of alcoholic beverages for off-premises consumption as part of takeout food transactions. So not only can you eat out at your takeout facility, you can also take a drink with you. There is a facilitating return to service for retirees. They're allowing retirees to come back into service and not impact their hours of work. That there is a limitation on how many hours you can actually work as a retiree, and they actually they relax those requirements so that people can help during the COVID-19 epidemic. The provisions of non-profit corporations, remote meetings of shareholder corporations. Also, there's all kinds of new language put in there about language that allows non-profit corporations to entities to conduct a postpone necessary business to meet remotely for up to 60 days after the termination of March 10th of the state of emergency. Tolling municipal requirements on permits in quasi-judicial public meetings. Tolls require admissible actions on permits until 45 days after the termination of the COVID-19 emergency, and no permit shall be considered granted, approved, or denied, constructively or otherwise, due to the failure of a permit granting authority to act within timelines that would otherwise be in effect. Excuse me. This section also classifies that permit granting authorities may conduct meetings and public hearings remotely during the COVID-19 emergency, consistent with the governor's March 12th executive order regarding the open meeting law. So there's a lot of relief that's been granted through emergency legislation to address a lot of the situations as they've impacted us here in Massachusetts. Thanks to the governor and lieutenant governor and the legislature for getting that done. I do see a number of comments that have come in, so just want to take a look and see. There was a question about whether there were any cases at Doolittle. We don't have that information. I'm not sure whether or not I can actually report that information up. I will check on that. And there is a list of open restaurants on the Uptown Happenings page on the Facebook page. So if you want to just check that for see what restaurants and are available for takeout throughout the town of Foxboro. And I don't have a number how much it is for the stickers. I believe there's no charge as long as you are if you are a resident of Foxboro. They do not charge you for that. But I'll confirm that and let you know by tomorrow. And it is the service that is provided to the town. And that is in fact the case. I've just confirmed that. So it is free if you are a resident of Foxboro. So those are the latest updates that I have. If you want to send me anything that you'd like to me include in any of these updates, you can send me something at Keegan at Foxboro, FOXBOROUGHMA.gov. I'm happy to provide you any information that you think is important to get out, and we'll check on it to make sure that we keep you updated as much as we can during this difficult time. Again, I hope you're all staying healthy, staying well, and hope your needs are all being addressed. By the way, there is on the town's Twitter site, there is a needs assessment that we encourage you to fill out if you can, so we can actually try and find out what your needs are, and if there's something we can do to try and further help you during this difficult time, we'll try and do that for you. Until then, I'll see you next time, which will be 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. Hope you're all doing well, and I'll see you next time. Take care.